Welcome to the Board Wrap-Up Show, Zoom edition for July. And the Board of Education just had their board meeting on Monday. So this is the Board Wrap-Up Show with the Superintendent of Ponca City Public Schools, Shelley Arrott, via Zoom. And good to see you, Shelley.
Good to see you, Sean.
Officers were selected. This is something that is a requirement, and before we talk about the different learning options and everything for the upcoming school year, and there's a lot to talk about, let's talk about that real quick.
Okay. Pursuant to Oklahoma school law, after a general board election, a board has to designate a president and a vice president and a clerk and a deputy clerk. And since the general election was pushed back to June 30th, this was our first board meeting after the general election, and Dawn Newsom from seat 5 ran unopposed, so there wasn't an election, but our board had to elect its president and vice president after that June meeting. And we met on July 20th. It was our first in-person board meeting in several months. So we were in the seminar room, distanced significantly. So we did elect a president, which is Robin Riley, and our vice president is Nancy Zimmershed through the next general election. We'll see if that's going to be in April or not. Who knows what the future holds. And
right.
I recommended that we maintain our regular board clerk, which is Betty Johnson, and our deputy board clerk, Kathy Conrad, and the board voted to do that. So
fantastic. All right. Well, the new school year, it's an understatement to say that there are certain challenges right now, but the Ponca City Public Schools, you've really risen to the occasion. I know it's you and it's so many people that are coming together with these different plans and the different principals from the different schools and the sites and the videos. They're all up at pcps.us. Let's talk about the learning options, because school, we're less than a month away.
We are scheduled to start on August the 19th, and I guess today is the 22nd, so we are less than a month away. And I will have to say right up front that our State Department of Education has worked with superintendents tirelessly, provided us all kinds of resources. We've met with the Oklahoma State Department of Health, the state epidemiologists, our site leadership, our district leadership, our teachers, you name it. We had so many people involved with the development of these plans, and I have to commend everyone, first of all, because a lot of people haven't been under contract and have spent their summer creating these plans. So these are our best laid plans as of what we know right now. And as you know, this is a very fluid situation. So I don't know what it's going to be like even tomorrow, but this is where we are now. So initially, when we created a district plan, our goal was to create an in-person traditional learning environment with several layers of protection to protect our students, our families, and our staff. I am a 35-year educator, Sean, and I can tell you the greatest correlation to academic success is the interaction with teachers and peers. So I believe that the in-person model, when safe, is the most appropriate. However, we understand that there are families who are vulnerable to COVID-19. So we're offering some online options. And let me clarify this really quickly. Our online options are going to be like a virtual online school, public school, there are several in the state, but we are offering that same option within our own school, and they would connect to our own teachers. So hometown teachers know the kids likely if they've been here before. So option 1 is traditional in-classroom learning, tons of layers of protection, which we'll talk about shortly. Option 2 is like a virtual online public school, all except Kids remain a Wildcat. They're enrolled with Ponca City Public Schools. In option 2 is just a little, not quite as restrictive as option 3, because our students in grades 6 through 12 can participate in extracurricular activities. So they will do their classes online, supported by a Ponca City Public School teacher, and they will meet with one individual teacher once a week. They will be in mask, or they can do it Zoom. And this teacher will monitor the student's progress. So it's not the face-to-face interaction with the class and the teacher like traditional. So it's just a little bit different. So our extracurricular activities would include music, chorale, orchestra, any sporting event, and FFA. So those would be the extracurricular activities that our students could participate in. And I've had a lot of calls. Does that include electives? No, it doesn't include all electives. Now, the software that we'll be using for our virtual online has the option for students to enroll in electives. Okay, option 3 is the most restrictive option. That's where a student is all online. They are still a Wildcat. They're still enrolled with Ponca City Public Schools. They are still supported by one of our teachers. However, everything is online through a software program, and we are offering that K through 12, kindergarten through 12th grade. So we need our people to register. They can go to 111 West Grand and register in person. And we have different hours. Monday, Wednesday, we're open 8 to 4. Tuesday, Thursday, 10 to 6 to accommodate more people. Friday, we are closed so that we may clean and disinfect. However, our secondary students can do everything online. Our elementary people can submit their proof of residency online. People do not have to come to the registration center, but they do have to submit that proof of residency either through a utility bill, rental agreement, proof of contract of sale, something of that nature. Parents can take a picture of it and email it to registration@pcps.us. So we need our people to still enroll. And we are asking that our patrons let us know if they're interested in option 2 and option 3 by July 23rd, and that is this Thursday. We had originally said July 16th, but as cases are going up, we understand that people may need some more time. And I will tell you, that date is to allow us to make some staffing decisions, because we're going to need to staff our virtual and online. And every time, each day, with cases on the rise in Oklahoma, we have more and more people interested. So I'm strongly urging people to email registration or call us 767-8000, and we'll be glad to help them.
All right. This is the board wrap-up show for July 2020 via Zoom with the superintendent of Ponca City Public Schools, Shelley Arrott. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, and mask for students. Shelley, this is something I know we've talked about on the radio here on this board wrap-up show. Tell us about mask, and this is really exciting because they're going to be, you're going to have special Wildcat mask, and there's a place for folks to every student's going to get some, right? But you can also buy extras for anyone that wants them, right?
That is right. Sean, where we are with our mask, we know that State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister is going to take a recommendation to the state board on Thursday. I guess that's tomorrow. Where we follow the recommendations of the state health department's COVID alert system. It's multi-tiered. It's based on the number of cases in your county per 100 people. And there's a range. And K County is in the moderate risk, which requires mask or face coverings, let me call them face coverings, if you cannot distance So more than 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. I mean, if you are less than that 6 feet for more than 15 minutes, a mask will be required, or a face covering. We have partnered with BSN Sports. They are providers for all of our gear and uniforms, that kind of thing. And we are purchasing a neck gaiter for all of our students. And that's the round loop that fits around your neck, and it may just be pulled up or down if they are in a mask or a face covering zone where distancing isn't possible. So those will be required. Also, we have a live link. It's on our website. It's on our Facebook page. Patrons may go in and order. For our staff, we purchased, well, I have one right here, a mask with ear loops, Wildcat, both in red and navy. And for our students, we purchased the gaiters, easier for them to keep on and off. But our students, our staff, our patrons, anyone can go out and order whichever one they want. On our website, www.pcps.us, we're closing it on August 3rd so that we can get the order in, but we'll reopen it up again. We just have to have a cutoff date. We are selling these at cost. We just want our patrons to be able to get them for what they cost us. Masks are $8.50 and the neck gaiters are $9.95. They're a dry fit, very comfortable, soft mask. So those are out there, and it's an option for our patrons.
All right, that sounds fantastic. Well, a lot of challenges, less than a month away, the start of school, and we're going to get into it. If you want to find out more about the different policies and procedures as school gets set to open in less than a month, you can go to pcps.us, and you can also stay connected with Ponca City Public Schools in a variety of ways, Shelley.
That's right. Always call us through the PCPS app. We have 22 videos out there on our homepage talking about the specific layers of protection for every site and for every department. And one of those departments happens to be transportation. I want to tell our parents that we cannot distance on a school bus. So face coverings will be required. We will also do screening for on the bus, but I would urge our parents to carpool if they can, or provide transportation if they can. I realize that so many people can't, and we will provide transportation, but a face covering will be required, and we will do screening. I also want to urge our parents, do not send your children to school with a fever of 100 degrees or higher, because we will call and ask that they be picked up ASAP. We're also telling our employees, this is not the year to come to work sick with a fever, come to school sick with a fever. So that's going to be tricky. I realize that people have to work, but we are going to have an isolation station at every site. If we do have a student who has a fever of 100 or more, and we ask that our patrons pick those students up as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah, well, we will look forward to the August edition of the Board Wrap-Up Show with Superintendent Shelley Arrott. In the meantime, stay connected with the PCPS app, pcps.us, and you can also find Ponca City Public Schools on Facebook. There's social media options, and that's not the only social media option. There are others as well. So, Shelley Arrott, thank you so much for July Board Wrap-Up Show.
Thank you for having me, Sean.
All right. For Ponca City Public Schools, that'll do it for the July Board Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Until next time.